It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior Live. I'll be your host today. Please put in the chat where you're from and who you are. When we start reviewing the news articles, if you want to look at our Facebook page, just click here and you can follow the articles along as we go. See you in a moment. Good morning, everyone. This is Tech for Senior Live. It is April the 6th. I'm Ron Brown. I'll be your host today. Want to welcome everybody and happy Easter. This is, of course, everyone, we're going into a holiday season, and we want to thank you for being here and listening to us today. That's just great. If you are listening on our YouTube or Facebook feed, thank you so much. If you are listening to this as a YouTube short, just click the link and it'll take you right to the show. If you are listening to it on our Zoom feed that we use for our Monday show, we'll see you next week because we're not there. This is being broadcast out over StreamYard. And I'll just put up here, if you want to find, we have a big button on our webpage, which is right here at www Tech for Senior. If you go there, click that button, the big red button that takes you right to our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to watch the show rather than waiting for us till next week. and by the way, we don't know who is, we know who we are, and we've been talking for the last hour before the show, but we don't know who you are. And if you are out there and you're listening, we'd sure like to hear from you. If you put your name out there, where you're from, what the weather's like. It's a howling storm here today. It's really miserable out in Comox, and probably all the ferries are getting canceled from Vancouver Island to the mainland today, which is going to upset everybody's Easter plans. So it's a bit of a stormy West Coast thing. Anyway, that's where we are today. Who are we? Well, we're a group of techie people that we've actually I've assessed a panel from around the world, experts that we're going to talk about Google's new Drive limits from Google Drive and all the tech news of the week. And for this, I've got a really great group of people, which I'll introduce in a moment, that's going to help us figure all this out. And we're going to have a lot of fun. A lot of you, of course, know who we are because you come to our Monday show, and that is we've just gone into our 4th season, so we've been doing it. This is our 4th year, and I'm going to introduce everybody. All of us are on the Monday show as well. So let me start by introducing, first of all, my co-host for Monday, and that of course would be Huey Popluck. He's from Bradenton, Florida. Welcome, Huey. And you're going to tell me it's beautiful weather there and the sun's out.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Right.
And I don't even know what the temperature is. I don't care. It's probably in the 80s already.
There you go. It's
sunny and great. We need
some
rain though.
Yeah, you got a busy week coming up.
I've had a busy week already, and it's still going. I got Easter Sunday. I'm still doing the Windows SIG and the WinSig, which is open to all of you. And then following that will be the main meeting of CFCS. It's going to be a roundtable discussion type of thing. And then Tuesday, I'm doing a presentation about Chromebooks to a group. So, it's and of course, Monday is Tech for Seniors. So, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I'm online. I don't even get time. I don't even get to go out to dinner.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the Chromebook because Huey and I do a monthly session on learning Chromebooks. You can, this is the site that we have. If you want to go there, you'll see this is our website, our Facebook page that we post all our articles about Chromebooks, and we do actually a monthly 1 hour session. It's free. It's a teaching one. We've been doing it for over 2 years now, and you can, but you do have to register, but it's free, and you can register at our website, www.techforsenior.com. So we can do that, and we do a lot of talk about Chromebooks. And then, of course, from Los Lunas, New Mexico, we have a man that is everyone knows. He's traveled the world talking about technology and security. He's our security expert who talks regularly each Monday on our show. He does a security news update, but he's also a very prolific YouTuber, man of many. He's an expert on AI. He's an expert on a lot of things. He's just a real smart guy. That would be Bob Isha from Los Lunas, New Mexico.
Nice to see you again, Huey. It's been a long time.
Yeah, didn't you guys do the show last night?
I actually did a presentation last night for Huey's club.
Yeah, for the Sarasota group. Yep.
Yeah. So we all pal around together. We even though we're in different parts of the world, we all are usually talking every few days. Yeah.
Yeah, the sun is shining. It's a beautiful day outside, and we're a balmy 41 degrees.
There you go. Bob got me interested in Weiss cameras, and I got my new Weiss camera, and I put it up outside. So I've been having fun with that, Bob. That's worked out really well for me.
That camera has an excellent picture.
Yeah, it really does.
And you can move it up and down and right to left, and
yeah, pretty cool.
Yep.
And then, of course, not last but not least, we have, of course, our music director from our Monday show. That would be Ray Baxter from Pine, Arizona. Ray is, of course, he's our music director on our Monday show. He talks really nationally about music clubs and music. I guess music.
Musicology.
You're muted, Ray. Music. What am I missing here? Not music
listening clubs.
Music listening clubs. That's right. Music listening clubs. And so he does that. And he's also the president of APCUG, which is a national computer organization. And he's very trustworthy because he's also the treasurer and holds all the money. And he has the distinct pleasure of being the nicest person that you'll ever meet. So, I mean, what more can I say about you, Ray? You're from Pine, Arizona. So what's anything new in Pine? It's still snowing.
Well, the weather now is I believe it or not, yes, it was, let's see, either yesterday morning or the day before, we had snow flurries in the early morning.
Right.
Which I couldn't believe, but then they didn't amount to anything. And now it's 47, and now the temperatures for the rest of the springtime will be just perfect. And this is the best time of the year, actually, for me up here. But as everybody here knows, Monday morning I go in for cataract surgery on my first eye. So I'm anxious to have that. Everybody, I've gotten so many comments from people that have had this surgery who have said, Ray, it's life-changing. You'll see things as bright and as colorful that you don't remember ever seeing before.
Look, Ray, no glasses.
Yes. I'm going to be like that apparently. And though the way I've opted for the regular standard lenses is for close-ups, I might have to put cheetahs on, but those will be the ones you find at Walmart for $10 or less.
There you go.
I still have some cheaters, but I really don't. It's very seldom that I have to use them.
Yeah, I had enough issues that I still have to wear glasses, but not as bad as I needed them before.
Well, we wish you luck. You have to get that
Yes.
surgeon of yours on to watch Tech for Senior on Monday mornings, and then he'll move his surgical days to a different day. So you got to. I keep telling Huey, you got to get your doctors organized. Get them watching Tech for Senior, and then they'll change their days. Eh?
I wonder if he'll listen to me, being that he's never met me yet.
But that seems to be a regular day for them to do that surgery, because mine was also on a
On
Monday.
a Monday, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where I live, we don't have a. Well, I guess there's one in Payson, but this is actually a doctor who comes up from Phoenix once a
Oh,
week just to do the surgeries on Monday, and he starts. Believe it or not, I don't have the earliest appointment. The earliest appointment is 6 a.m. to
Yep.
arrive.
He's probably skiing up in Flagstaff. He's probably skiing up in Flagstaff and comes down to Pine before he goes back home, right?
Oh, Payson, yep.
It made
There you
my wife very happy when I had mine, because mine was at 6 a.m. We had to be there at 5:30, and we have an hour's drive to get there. So
Early morning. Huey, we got anybody? We got a bunch of people. Looks like we got a lot of people
Yeah,
listening.
yeah. There's a lot of people making comments and so on. So let's see what we got.
Let's see what they are. Bernard.
hey,
Sterling,
got it right.
I got it
You
right.
got it
I've been
right.
practicing. I've been practicing all week. From Sterling Heights Computer Club in Detroit, Michigan. Dick Vogel, good morning or afternoon, whichever applies, from a toasty,
Toasty.
dry Sanford, Florida, USA. You guys in Florida are always bragging.
Yeah, we need rain though.
Jolin, of course, our good friend who is a tireless worker for their computer club and a techie that has been doing a lot of work for help people with their computers. Greetings from low country of South Carolina.
When I
Yes.
looked at, can you go back one shot? When I looked
Yeah,
at that
yeah,
first,
hang on.
because Jolin misspelled it.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. Was that supposed to be an L in front or a C?
Yeah.
Ow.
Low country.
Yep.
Welcome, Jolin. Liz from Ohio, cloudy and 46. A peaceful and joyful Passover. Yes.
Yeah.
In addition to Easter.
Richard from Monrovia, CA, not Canada. 54 now, and will go up to 76 later on. Steve Powell, 45 degrees, Kirkland, Washington. I wonder, are you getting the big storm we're getting? My power flickered a little this morning, so hopefully we'll be able to do the show. But welcome, Steve. Mike Ungerman, a charging day in Florida. Mike, of course, is a regular on our Monday show. He's done 2 sessions. First of all, last year we highlighted solar power for your home, and this year we're highlighting on our shows EV vehicles. And Mike just cost me a bunch of money because I had to buy a new EV vehicle on his advice. So, ouch. Anyway, Mike, next year for a topic, we got to find something that doesn't cost a lot of money. Anyway, we'll talk about that. So if you want to know more about EV cars, you got to watch us on our Monday show. Sally says, rainy Easter forecast for us. Indeed. Jolin, hey, Richard. Ivana, hi, another cold front, 46 degrees. A few days ago, it was 94. Murray, I got to tell you, Murray on our Monday show recommended some casters for my chair. And I got those, Murray, and they are great. These are, I forget what you call them, but these are really skookum roller casters for the bottom. Well done, Murray. I thank you so much because they are really great. Good morning from Victoria, BC, Canada. It's about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, cloudy, no wind, only a couple of hundred south of Ron. Well, the wind's coming. Michael Swift, Saanich. What's Michael doing in Saanich, BC? I didn't think Michael lived in. Are you holidaying there? I didn't think you were from Saanich, BC. 8 degrees and cloudy. Richard, click on the thumbs up button to help Ron and the guys. Thanks. Yeah, there you go. Thanks a lot. That always helps. Bill says, hi from our office. Laura, Now,
It looks
this
like a
Laura?
new name.
That's
Yeah,
new.
Laura, we want to give you a big shout out and a big
Yeah,
yay.
yeah.
If you're new here, we want to thank you for coming. What is live chat about? I just
But
wondered.
this is it.
This is it. This is it.
We're doing
And
the live chat now.
and you can put your comments in there, and we'll answer them and talk to you about that. Thank you for
Tell us how
coming.
you found us.
I think this is your first time here. If you have been here before and we've seen you, and I do apologize, but I don't think I've seen your name before. So welcome. We'll hopefully have a good show for you. Gerald, West Seattle, 45 degrees, rain. Yes, indeed. Clark Walker, Trenton, 64 degrees, heading to 80. Heavy rain on the way. Stan, 85 and partly cloudy in Orlando. Hello all, Stan Wallner. Good friend of Huey's. There we. Any more, Huey? Did Huey freeze up?
He
Looks like it.
may have.
Huey
Yeah.
may have frozen. He'll be back in. All right. Well, he'll log back in.
There's more there. Quite a bit more.
Let me see if I can bring them
Next
up.
one is Ivana. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
And-
he's
and
back.
I'm back now. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm from Argyle, Texas. I watched Huey and Bob's video on Chat GPT at Keg's Computer Club meeting in Washington State via Zoom.
Yeah, and that reminds us to remind everybody that if you are a member of a club, you're welcome to use any of our videos for your meetings. Just let us know, just so we have an idea that they're being used. But by all means, watch them and share them with others.
Jonathan says, you do fine. It's been a year and a half since my cataract surgery, and I'm okay. I do wear cheaters and have some blue blockers for computer work. It's amazing.
Good to know, John. Thank you.
Bob from Bellevue, Washington, 50 degrees, heading for 55. Jolin said, sending healing energies for a successful surgery. Yes, Geeks on Tour. Jim and Chris, hi from sunny South Florida. Welcome. Murray Strom, I opted to get my cataract surgery, so my eyeglass prescription was unchanged. It worked perfectly. Sally, thanks, Ivana. I created a playlist of their videos about Chat GPT.
Yeah, because Sally had asked me for a listing of what I had produced. I guess that's what it's being used for.
Yes. Bill H. Ray, we find the Dollar Tree readers are the most effective. I tend to lose or break glasses regularly. The quality control lacks, so we select the best ones.
Good. Thank you.
I think we've got that.
Yeah.
Have we got, have we done it all, Huey?
Jalen,
No.
you have to know I like having a little fun.
Gerald says we are getting your rain in the Seattle area. Yeah, it's blowing. Richard says, hey, Jolin. Yep. JJ Johnson, good morning from Waukegan, Illinois, 41 degrees. Brian, Peterborough, Canada. Yay, that's great. My daughter went to university in Peterborough, 48 degrees Fahrenheit, partly sunny and breezy. She also met her husband in Peterborough. Yes, okay. Is that it then? We got it done?
Yeah, it was quite a few today. Yep.
We do. I thought Easter, maybe no one's around. All right, so let's talk. We got to get to work. Let's talk a bit about we're going to talk about the topic we're going to start with today, which we're going to talk about is this article here. And this was an article that came out early this last week, which I saw, and it was about Google Drive. And I thought, well, this is interesting. Google Drive reverses course on its sudden secret file cap. So what happened with this is that in February, Google Drive came out and said that there was going to be a limitation on files that you could store on your drive, and that would be 5 million files. Not a limit on size, but there were a limit on the number of files. This was a secret memo that went out, and recently it got published. And of course, it's big news, right? This goes out and it's big news, and of course it's hit the press. And I looked at this and I thought, well, that's interesting. So we should talk about it today because there's a couple of applications that this might be beneficial for. And then, of course, later on in the week, Google announced that, of course, they've changed that ruling. And I thought it would be a good topic for a couple of reasons. The first is that I think that we've talked a lot on our show about Google, about cloud drives, and we've all, Huey, Bob, and I, and Ray, we've all talked a lot about backing up and the importance of backup and backing up to the cloud and all those sort of things. But we've never really talked a lot about NASs and other backups other than cloud storage. And I think that as we move on in life, the cloud storage is going to get more expensive because it is indeed a lot of it is cost money to all these server farms and power to keep these big cloud storages going. So I think that we don't talk a lot about NAS, or network attached storage units, or RAID or Synology, and these are some terms that we really haven't talked a lot about. And I thought it would lead into a bit of a talk about that. And I have a couple of situations where you may want to use a network attached storage device rather than than cloud. And I'll tell you a cute little story in a minute. But the first thing that I wanted to bring up was what an actual NAS is. And this is a NAS is a network attached storage device. And these are some examples that you can buy at Best Buy. And it's basically a hard drive or a series of hard drives that you can connect to your computer, and these back up. But how is this different than just backing up to a hard drive? What's the difference? And this is called a network attached storage device. So here's the cute story that I have to tell you. Told Bob and everyone this before. So about 5 or 6 years ago, I had to give a talk at a computer club in Mesa, Arizona. And well, it wasn't actually a computer club, it was a photography club. And I, of course, was going to talk on Google Photos. And they were about all the great things Google Photos did and so on and so forth. So I was there, and I got there with my computer and ready for my big presentation. So just before I started, the president of the club came to me and said, "Well, Ron, you do understand that we take pictures in the RAW." And I said, and I thought to myself, pictures in the RAW. Well, okay. I don't care if you take your clothes off and take pictures. Doesn't bother me. Like, why is he telling me that? And he said, "Well, I want you to address that when you're talking." And I thought, well, like, I'm sort of uncomfortable about this. I don't really care if you take your I thought it was a bit of a weird club, And then I had to stand up, and I was talking about how great Google was backing up your photographs. And they said, "Well, if you take pictures in the RAW, how does that affect that?" And I thought, boy, this is really confusing. And and then, of course, they had a good laugh about it, and I had a good laugh about it. And of course, I learned that these massive files that are uncompressed, if you go out as a photographer and have have a card in your camera, and you can load, like, you take 100 pictures and they're all in the RAW, you have a massive amount of data there that just is just not possible. It just would be ridiculous to try and put that upload it to a cloud storage. Plus, you want to edit it and do all sorts of things with it. So that really becomes a better option to have a local storage, right? Rather than having it all in the cloud. The other good option of that, and Ray's talked a lot about this, is of course a Plex server for music, because music, big files, lots of uses. And Ray, you've talked a lot about that in the last year about Plex servers, right?
Yeah.
And that's a local option for you. So I thought that there may be some situations where you want to look at that. And so what is so the I guess the example it would be is, what is a NAS? It's a network attached storage device. Now, how does that different from a just a hard drive that you do? And I'll show you the second thing that we wanted to mention is that the terminology is called RAID, because if you looked at those network attached storage devices, you would see that there's multiple hard drives in there. And what the software, which is called RAID, does is it mirrors the drives that you have in those external devices. So that if you have your first drive here is A1, it's going to mirror it to a second drive, and it would be called A1 as well. And RAID is the software that runs the NASAs. So I want you to know two terminologies. One, of course, is NAS, and then is RAID. And the third terminology, which we should understand, is a company that commonly makes these, and you buy these at Best Buy, Best Buy, and a lot of computer stores, is Synology, and then they make these. You go and buy a Synology NAS, and you can see here that you can pull the drives out, put them in, and it's very easy to do. It's really not that technical, and it allows you to back up large amounts of data that's redundant because it's backing it up to another copy. And photography would be a good one, and Ray's idea of music and Plex servers is a good one. And I thought, Huey, have you ever done any work with external drives like that? Have you done any?
Yeah, I had one several years ago, and one thing that maybe we ought to add in the explanation of what it is, it actually plugs into your router, and people, you can set it up so people anywheres on the internet can see it
Correct.
and have access to it.
Right.
You can have different levels of security. What they can do, can they just look at them? Can they download from them?
Mhm.
Or can they even edit or add more to them? So it's what it becomes, and that's where the network attached storage is. That it's alive. You can have it so you're the only one that can access it, but you can access it from any of your computers through the internet.
Right. Good point. Exactly. And Ray, what do you use for your Plex server? You bought a new mini PC, didn't
I
you?
bought a new mini PC, but actually I had an older Windows 10 computer, a big tower that I was using, because that became an extra computer for me when I bought a new Windows 11 computer. So I've been using it. It works fine around the house, but it has a relatively weak processor, I want to be able to allow my kids who live in different parts of the country to access not only movies, but all of the photographs I've taken over the last 5 or 6 decades are now on my Plex server. And this way,
Plex server, right.
it's a wonderful way for me to share all these photos without having to make copies or anything else. So the ability to do that really depends on how good a processor. So that's why I bought this new mini PC. It as you saw, that those who saw me on Monday, is only about 5 inches by 5 inches by less than 2 inches high. It looks really nice and tiny and small, fits on top of the desk, but yet I'll have everything, all of my drives plugged into that. And the processor in that is an i5 8th generation, more than enough to do what I needed to do.
Excellent.
Yeah, Ron, if you could take the address off of there, there's some comments from our audience too on this.
Okay, let me just take this off. Yeah, because we have to get moving on with our articles.
But there's some good comments here.
So Bill says, what is a RAW file? A RAW file is lossless, meaning it captures uncompressed data from your camera sensor, right? Bill says, sometimes referred to as a digital negative. You can think of RAW file as the raw ingredients of a photo that will need to be processed in order to bring the picture to full potential, right? Clark says, I have a Seagate personal drive. Seagate no longer makes them or supports them. It supports Plex. Mike says Synology systems are actually more complex than the average computer user might want to experience with. An easier solution is an all-in-one NAS drive that has its own software.
Mhm.
Consider an NAS case that can use your own bare drives or SSDs, lower cost solution. So there's lots of options. Clark says, it has failed, so I have been trying to figure out what to buy as a replacement. Right. So I thought it was a good idea to talk about that because I personally think that the writing's on the wall. Cloud drives just aren't going to go on forever being cheap. And I think we're going to maybe be talking about this more in the future. All right, let's get on with it. Let's get looking at the articles. Let's move over to share my screen. And we will share this and we'll bring this up and let's just move everybody. Let's see here. We'll just move you down here. And
Have you done a refresh?
Yeah, I'm gonna just do that. See who got the articles. What, you guys are busy entering articles as we're talking here? So who got the first, let's see, who got the first article here to talk about? Huey.
Yes. Emulate me. I was looking at it this morning, and by the way, if you hit the join me, I get some credit for it, so maybe I can get some free access to it. But it looks interesting what it is, and it's part of this whole AI stuff. You send them a picture of yourself, and you send them also a voice clipping, and then you can put in whatever you want it to say by typing in text. In your face, in your voice will be talking, and it does it all automatically. So it's an interesting way of using AI, and I don't know what kind of costs they're going to have. It's still being tested, but it's not. None of this stuff is going to be free for the most part. There's a few websites out there that are, but apparently all this AI stuff takes a lot of horsepower and a lot of hard drive space, and they all are getting between $10 and $40 a month to access the different programs.
So for the Monday show, could I start out, this is Tech for Senior, but I would actually have your voice?
Yeah, you could do that too, but it could be you, and you just type in what you wanted to say, and you can join your family that's going to be visiting you and still be the host.
Oh, there you go. Chat GPT. Huey, what's more about this?
Yeah, because Chat GPT is the hottest thing out there right now. It's also the hottest new job skill, and they're looking for people that have experience and are knowledgeable and can use it. So yeah, it will do away with some people's jobs and it'll give other people new jobs.
Very good.
And one of the things about AI is it can't do well are hands, feet, and teeth. It has trouble with when it creates pictures or graphics. And as you can see there, the hands aren't, and there are some other pictures in the article as well, but it has a lot of trouble. And that's a lot of times you can tell that it is an AI generated graphic because of somebody's hand. They have a finger missing or part of their hand, or they got 6 fingers. And it's one of the problems they haven't been able to solve yet.
All right. This was an article this morning I saw, and like Walmart, which we talked about last week, Best Buy is launching a recycle by mail program. So thought everyone should just know that if you are looking at recycling some of your, we all have our computer junk that we have at home, and you want to recycle some of it, they have a mail-in program. And I'm assuming that's probably only in the US. I would assume so. Google Drive reverses course on sudden secret file cap, and we've just discussed that.
We just did.
So that's done. Now, the reason I put this article in this morning, T-Mobile now offers fiber home internet, but this is a cellular company, but they are also getting into the fiber internet. And I guess what
Where?
the article discusses that. If you look here, it is in New York City,
Yeah.
North Glen, Colorado, Pueblo, Colorado, and I would imagine that's just the start that they're going to be doing. So I guess what we've said over and over at Tech for Senior is the most important advice we can give you is to keep looking at all your options as far as internet goes. This is such a rapidly changing field, and the players change and the services change so fast that you need to be on top of it all the time to get the best deal, right? I mean, it's changing.
Yeah,
So
if you're the type that doesn't like change,
right.
technology is not where you want to be.
No, and worse than that, I still see people who've got the same plan they had 20 years ago, and they're just paying for crappy service. And the companies just love that because they just keep charging them every month, and then it just keeps going. So you really need to be on your toes and keep looking.
One of my favorite expressions in life is everybody likes change as long as it happens to somebody else.
Yeah, right.
And the POTS system, the plain old telephone system that we had for years and years, where you rented a phone and got charged every month for your home phone. There's still a lot of people that have those, and they're doing away with them. So a lot of people all of a sudden have to go to technology where they've been just living in the past, doing the same thing they've been doing for years and years.
So, Huey, I know this is your article, but I just laugh because, of course, Microsoft is looking at Windows 12 now, and they're talking about how it's going to be AI generated, all sorts of stuff about Windows 12. So, are we going to skip Windows 11? All of us that have Windows 10, are we going to go to Windows 12? Like, this is really an interesting time. Like, all of a sudden, we're talking a lot about Windows 12, right?
And the big thing in this article points it out with Windows 12, one of the things they're looking at doing is changing the whole structure of Windows. Right now, you have generally one partition, and that has all the information in different folders. And what they're talking about is having multiple partitions so they can do what Google does with the Chromebooks, is when you update, it updates it into a partition that's not being used, and it makes all of the changes and puts it there, and then you reboot, and then it boots into that partition, and the other one sits there to be updated next. So all of the updates can be done in the background, and it doesn't affect you, and it doesn't slow you down. It just does it all. So what we're going to see is the whole partition, the way the operating system works on the hard drive is going to change. So it's going to make a lot of difference.
More to come.
Yep.
And Microsoft Edge development build ships. What's this about?
Let's see. I got to remember. I've read so many of these articles. This has to do with the Edge. In the development version of Edge, they've got some filter options in the address bar. So there's some new things coming in Microsoft Edge dealing with AI, and we're going to see more and more of that.
And filter options, you're talking about coloration.
Yeah.
Actually, what I'm looking at is the active page for me is white, and the other ones are a pale blue. I run the developer option or the developer version.
Bob.
Yeah.
This is your article?
Yeah, it kind of points out some of the important reasons for using a VPN.
Excellent. A VPN offers protection against 8 most common hacks.
Yep.
Is that a video?
It sure is.
All right.
Good one. And Ray,
Okay. Say
yeah.
it isn't so.
Oh, no more
Ford is going to
AM
drop the
radios.
AM radio
Oh, wow.
following the lead of many other car makers going forward. So Ford said they're not going to have the AM radio anymore in their new and updated 2024 car models. And the reasoning, they say there's many other alternatives in today's modern vehicles. But there's a Democratic Senator, Ed Markey, he says that AM radio still provides critical safety information in an emergency. He feels that's irreplaceable, and he's going to do what he can to ensure that the AM radio band stays available. So I bet many watching today, their first car only had an AM radio.
Right. And
And
that was an expensive option. Do you remember it was a radio was an option, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, just a bit of trivia. AM stands for amplitude modulation, and the FM band stands for frequency modulation.
And the thing is, a lot of us seniors listen to talk radio, which is mostly AM. And so a lot of those talk stations, if they're going to survive in a non auto radio life, they're going to have to probably change over to their FM sister stations.
And this is why podcasts are starting to take over.
Yeah.
Ray, do you think that if they do away within cars in 2024, will that be the end of FM or AM radio?
I think that'll always be around for a while, but it won't have nearly the number of listeners. Yuli is so right with talk radio and people listening in their cars.
Mm-hmm. And this is an interesting picture.
Okay, 50 years ago, the first cell phone call was made. Now, I would guess, again, many of the folks listening today can remember from their elementary school days when they were told that the first phone call by Alexander Bell, and guess what? That was March 10, 1876, took place. Now, it's been 50 years, and this goes back to April 3, 1973, when the first cell phone call was made. This is a Dr. Martin Cooper, and that's his picture there. He was of Motorola, and the big rival in those days was AT&T. So he decided to use and call Joel Engel of AT&T using a DYNA TAC phone. This was a $4,000 phone that took 10 hours to charge, and it was the physical size you can see in that photo of a brick. So
Ray?
As the story goes, once Engel realized he was on a historic phone call from his rival, he did not verbally respond.
Oh,
Ray?
really?
Yeah. Ray?
Yeah.
Monday show. This was one of the did you know items.
Okay.
Yes, isn't that interesting? Eh? And he didn't respond. He didn't play along with him for a while.
Yeah, he answered the phone. Now, if you ask the guy from AT&T, Joel Engel, he'll say he doesn't even remember the phone call.
Mhm.
But according to the caller, he said, no, I called him. He answered and said hi. And then when he said, I'm using a cell phone for the first time, he wouldn't respond.
All right. And then also this looks interesting. Text to video.
Well, this is almost a little bit of what Yui was pointing out before with that emulate software. This is, to me, the next step in AI. First, you choose an avatar presenter, and they give you different images of avatars that you could choose. And then you create, a PowerPoint presentation with all the slides and the information. This software will then, and this AI software, of course, will convert that into an actual PowerPoint presentation where that avatar will now speak and talk about what's on the slides and do the entire presentation for you.
That means they're going to do away with all of what we do, guys.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It's all going to be
My mind is
AI.
rolling.
And we can sit back and we can watch our show.
I use a program called Pictory AI, where I provide the text. It then creates the slides. I provide the voice, but I could have it do the voice also if I wanted to.
And the nice thing, what Pictory does, that as you're going from one slide to the other, it picks a word out from that slide and gives you a video in the background. So if you
Yep.
happen to mention computer, you're going to see somebody doing something with a computer. If you say something about a refrigerator, you're going to see something to do with a door opening on a refrigerator or something to do with a refrigerator. It really is amazing.
Yeah,
I
and
think
one
we
of
have.
the options you have is you can highlight if you have a specific word you want it to pick for the display. You can highlight as you're creating it that particular word or phrase.
I mean, the opportunities in industries like education, marketing, sales, they're absolutely endless.
Yep.
Yep. And for those of you who are watching that this is kind of new and you don't quite understand it, you really need to try to understand it and immerse yourself in it because it's changing the entire world. It's all you hear in every industry is how are they going to be using AI? And all of the software packages that you use are going to be using AI, and you're going to have to learn them all over again or learn new ways of using them.
Yeah,
It's
I,
just
I use Pictory AI for all of my videos except for the tutorials. Those, of course, you can't use Pictory AI or something else because you're demonstrating something either on your computer, your laptop, smartphone, or whatever device. But whatever you're demonstrating, that's done live. But everything else, Pictory AI does such a fabulous job and I can produce a couple of videos instead of spending a whole day trying to put one together.
So, um, Huey, is there any? Should we go over any comments?
yeah.
Any?
Let's see what we've got out here. We do have. Let's see. I want to see where we were last. Okay.
Mike says, "Don't say anything if you answer a spam call. They could be recording your voice for a future phishing phone call to
Yep.
a friend or relative."
Yep. Best advice when you get a spam call, hang up the phone.
Right.
Yeah. Don't
Don't
engage.
talk.
Don't
Don't
talk. Don't say
engage.
anything, and don't say the word yes.
Uh-huh. Because they'll use that for you to make a purchase in your own voice. Deny it later. It's your voice.
Mike Ungerman, I'm seeing dueling commercials between Spectrum and T-Mobile wireless internet claiming lower rates with Spectrum and enticing with a free wireless phone and account. Love competition. Bill says spammers have ruined phone calls. Cell phones are getting to be more of an annoyance than a communication device.
Yeah. With all this artificial intelligence, you'd think they could find a way to figure out that
Yeah,
it's a
you
spam
would.
call and say more just a spam likely or whatever they say on the phone.
Right. Jolin says, Bob, does the VPN from Google One suffice?
If the only thing you need is to hide your IP address and have stuff encrypted, then yes, it will. But you are limited because they select your location. You can't say, well, I want to be in Great Britain, or that doesn't work. But for security purposes, yes, it will suffice.
Jolin says, I do not say hello. I say good day, good morning, good evening. The Fishers don't know what to do with it.
And that catches
Okay,
us
that's
up.
great. Okay, that's good. Let's see the next one. Yes, this was on yesterday. I think GM overtakes Ford as the number 2 seller of EVs in the United States, and it trails Tesla. So, um, probably they said 1 in 6 people now in the United States will buy an electric EV or buy an EV this year. So there's a lot of talk about this, and that's why we have a regular feature now on our show about EV cars. This was the greatest gadget. I sent this to Bill. James does a gadget article on our Tuesday newsletter, and we have 2 newsletters that come out on Tuesday and Saturday. They're free, and you can certainly subscribe to that at www.techforsenior.com. This is an auto self-leveling tripod, and it self-levels itself. It's all electronic and self-levels. This is a cool cool, really cool device. And it's actually in production. I sent it to Bill, so you'll probably see it in our newsletter as one of the gadgets of the week. But this is a really cool product. Let's have a look here. Then Bob, this is yours. Microsoft Designer. What's Microsoft Designer?
Microsoft Designer is a nice little tool. You should have seen the picture I sent to you of the prompt I gave it about seniors being helped by Tech for Seniors. Again, it's a video. Watch it.
Okay.
And it'll also give you the hint as to how to get invited to actually try it for yourself. Right
Okay.
now,
Bob-
you need an invitation.
Yeah, and I've got 10 invitations. If anyone
Yeah.
would like it, just email me and I will send you the link. I've got 10, and I think Bob might have a few
Yep.
as well. I think the Designer is Microsoft's answer to Canva.
But
Oh,
it's easier to use, much easier
yeah.
to use.
Yeah, and
Okay.
cheaper.
is it part of Office 365 or is it is a separate standalone?
It's standalone, but right now we're not paying for it. So I
Yeah.
don't know what'll happen eventually, but
Okay. We talked about that. Yes, I think this is mine. Chrome. Yes, this is Chrome 112. Marks the end of an era. Say goodbye to Chrome apps and say hello to PWAs. Now, I'm not sure. Is this Chrome OS for Chromebooks or was this
No, this
No.
is the Chrome browser.
the Chrome browser? So we talked about that last month for our Chromebook series. Is of course Chrome OS will be getting rid of all Chrome apps and will be using PWAs or extensions. So I guess this is their following suit with the Chrome browser, eh?
Yeah, and Ron, what does PWA stand for?
Progressive Web App.
So what it's doing is it's taking a web page or a site and making it an app, as opposed to you installing an app, or as opposed to it, somebody having to create a
Unique app.
program.
Yeah. So this is what will be. This is where we're moving to, and that is for sure going to happen with Chrome OS as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that doesn't affect the fact that you'll still have the Android apps. So
Correct.
it'll have Android apps and PWAs instead of Android apps and the Chrome Web Store.
Correct.
I have two PWAs on both my laptop and desktop. One of them is for Chat GPT, and the other one is for Bard.
Yep, that's right. That's a really cool feature.
Yep.
Is this your WinSync? Huey,
Yeah, that's my newsletter. If you
Okay.
click on it, if somebody clicks on that, they'll get the entire newsletter with some articles and also last night's Stug presentation, but also Sunday's up and coming Windows SIG
Okay.
and the topics we're going to cover.
Bob says Adobe Firefly. A quick look. What's this about, Bob?
It's a video. Adobe doesn't want to be left out. They
Mhm.
come up with AI also, and Firefly is their answer.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Text to images. Watch the video. You'll find
Cool.
out how it works.
Is
Another
it
one,
free?
Yeah,
Is it free?
you need it's in beta, and as long as it's in beta, it's for free, but you
Okay.
need an invitation. And this one, I don't have any to give out. You have to apply, go on a waiting list, and then you'll wind up getting an invitation.
Yeah, I applied, and I think it's also similar to Canva. So Canva is doing so well that all these companies are really trying to get part of that business.
This
images?
is sorry.
Does Canva do text to images?
It does.
Yes.
Okay.
It does. I put this article up, not that we don't have to discuss it because Bob and Hugh we've done a lot of this, but this people will often look and say, what's better, Chat GPT or Bing Chat, which is better? And this is an article from How to Geek on just comparing the two. And
There is no comparison.
And what's your feelings, Bob?
There's no comparison. Sorry. That's like comparing apples to oranges.
So you feel Chat GPT does a much better job?
Yeah, and Chat GPT really isn't a fair comparison because Bard is also limited. It's not giving you current information.
Okay.
Okay.
But what I like is that ChatGPT gives you.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at it. Chat GPT versus Bing's Chat, and Bing's Chat can intermix recent information. Chat GPT is limited to end of 2021, September of 2021.
And Ray is going to say what I was going to say. So go ahead, Ray.
I was going to say that Bing Chat gives you relatively short responses, maybe a paragraph only, and then lets you give follow-up questions. Whereas ChatGPT, if you say, give me 300 words on a topic, you'll get 300 words on a topic. So I much prefer ChatGPT.
The other thing about ChatGPT, it will keep a record of what you do, so you can go back and look at older ones as well that you've done.
Yep.
Okay. My Christmas presents here, Bob. 11 tools every techie should have.
Yep. It's an article, and if you do any kind of work with your computers, you got to have this. They're
Okay.
basic tools. And of course, you look at it. Hey, get rid of the dust bunnies that are hiding in your computer, your keyboard, so on and so forth.
And Freegal Music, what's this about?
It creates a library.
Okay.
Can you? Where do you have to live? Most libraries, you have to be a local resident.
You can create free music, but you must have a library card because it works off your library card number. If you don't have that, you can't use this.
And I would bet, without having seeing this, you have to belong. It's only certain libraries across the country.
I didn't see any restrictions as long as you had a library card.
So they have a database that will verify that the number and library that you're putting in is correct for the entire country?
Yes.
I'm going to check it out. I doubt it.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Windows 11 quick settings menu.
Nice video.
A hidden menu in the quick settings menu. It's the video. It's an instructional video.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the video.
Yes, we might even play that. I was really impressed with that. We might even play that on Monday, Bob. That was really helpful. Thanks for doing that. That was very helpful.
Before we finish up, there's just a couple of. Let's see. I'm trying to think here where we left off.
We got a couple of. Hold on, Huey. We got a couple. I want to do a couple of more. We've 3 minutes. I've got to do a couple more articles. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. We'll do it. This was an article. How to find an EV charger. You may want to read this. It talks about the different apps that you can use, including Google Maps. The other one now is Mint Mobile, which of course again comes back to what I said. Check the options you have. They offered more data, so they even got Mint's a very popular mobile service in the United States, and they've just upped their ante on their data. So have a look at it. It's a good option for you. If you haven't heard of Mint Mobile, type it in.
Mint uses Verizon.
Correct. That's right. and the other thing is Comcast is planning to expand their internet service in 2023, and there's a full list of locations. So again, life's changing, so they're adding a whole bunch more service to their areas. And this was an interesting highlight. Amazon's new internet service now covers 90% of Americans, and this was from Cord Cutter News. And I looked at this and I thought, hold on, what's all this about? This is crazy, because they haven't got their satellite system up yet. But this, of course, has to do with their neighborhood network, where your internet is shared with your neighbors. As far as, and Bob's talked about this a lot before, it is if you have a Ring doorbell or any Amazon services, any of their Echo devices, they will have in their network set up neighborhood sharing. You can turn this off, but this allows for communication between devices. It's an interesting article. Okay, we've got 1 minute left. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, let's do the last articles there. Richard says Bing Chat also gives results with a link to the source.
Correct.
Thank you. Jolin says, I have 2 amazing toolkits and a special USB tiny drill. Yeah, well, Jolin does take computers apart and put them back together. He's a real smart person. She does do that. Michael says, we'll see the Shaw-Rogers merger affects my Shaw mobile. Yeah, me too, Michael. I've got the same deal you have. And I'm just saying that this isn't going to go well for us. I don't think this is going to go well. So anyway, we'll have to see how that works out. I guess it's top of the hour, right?
Mm-hmm. It is.
Where did time go, you guys? We had so much fun today. It just went by so fast. It's just crazy, eh? So I want to thank everyone for coming today, and we will see. Please watch our show on Monday. We're going to have a great chat. Mike and I are going to be talking about our experiences with our EV cars. We're going to do so there'll be an EV car section and lots of great topics on our Monday show. And you can get there by going to www.techforsenior.com.
Ron, Tech for Senior Live always reminds me that time goes by so slowly is really a misnomer.
I think you're right. So anyway, thanks. John says, good show today. Thank you all. Yes, indeed. It's always a good show when we get together and talk technology. But we're going to do it again next week, right? We'll see.
Absolutely.
We'll be back next week. And there's always more news. There's never a lack of news and technology news. It's always something to talk about. So we'll see everyone back. And
happy Easter. Happy Passover.
Happy Easter, everybody. Stay safe.
Holidays.
See you on Monday. See you maybe on Monday.